Hello and welcome hardworking aspirants. In today's class we are going to discuss about the Kushanas as well as the Hunas. Both of them were drastically very contrast when it comes to their nature. One, if you talk about Kushana, you have example of Kanishka, was very famous, and he was also known as second Asoka because he spreaded Buddhism in different parts of world including China and other countries. And when we talk about the Huna invasion, these people were considered to be very cruel and barbaric. One story, just to prove you how barbaric these people were, it is noted that there was once a Huna king passing through the Hindu Kush mountains, and there he saw an elephant crying in pain because it fell from a cliff. You know what was the next decision that the king took? He asked 100 elephants to be thrown from the top of the mountain so that he can enjoy that cry, he can enjoy that pain of the elephants. And it was none other but Mihirakula of Hun that you will see and talk about. So these are the two empires, and these are the foreign invaders. The last of the foreign invader were the Hunas that we are going to talk about. In our previous classes we have already discussed about the Achaemenid Empire or the Persian invasion. We started with the Persians, and then we saw the Macedonian invasion where we had Alexander the Great. After the Persians and Macedonians, we saw the Seleucid Empire. After the Seleucid Empire, we saw the Sakas, the Parthians, and now we are going to see the Kushans and the Hunas. So what we'll be seeing in today's class, there will be this different territories acquired by the Kushanas as well as by the Hunas. The Gandhara art or the Greco-Roman art influence in India into both the Gandhara school of art and the Mathura school of art that we will see, and the parts occupied by the Hunas, and which tribe of Hunas, there was different tribes of Hunas, and which tribe of Huna came to India and what was the pathway. We're going to discuss all that, but before we get going, a quick info for all of you guys. Right now Deepika ma'am is taking this 5-day free seminar on basic polity. If you are preparing for UPSC, TSPSC, APPSC, or for any exam where you need this polity basics, so you can join from 15 July to 19 July 10 am to 12 pm, and you will get the links in our description. And if you are also preparing for TSPSC Group 1 or for UPSC CSE 26-27, right now we are having 50% discount. You can call on the numbers given below and inquire for more. So let's get started with the Kushan invasion and the empire. Before Kushans, whom we will have the Sakas and the Parthians. Okay, and we have already studied about them, and I have also told you, if you remember, that at this part we had several tribes. One was UG tribe. Okay, along with the UG tribe there was this Sakas or the Scythian tribes, and there was this Parthian tribe, and somewhere near the Afghanistan and Uzbekistan we had the Bactrians. Okay, so one by one we have seen that first the Bactrians have come, after that we saw the Sakas have come, then we saw the Parthians have come, and now it's the time of the UG tribe to come. But UG tribe was originally divided into 5 different tribes, and one of these 5 tribes will be known as the Kushans, and they will be coming towards India, and they will dominance over the empire which was spanning from Afghanistan to the northern India. So they were known as what? They were known as the Kushanas. Now this Kushan empire emerged from the UG confederation, an Indo-European nomadic people who migrated from northwestern China, that is Xinjiang and Gansu, after being displaced by the Xiongnu around 170 to 160 before Common Era. The Kushans were one of the 5 branches we have already discussed under Kojula Cadphises, sometimes is also known as Kajula Cadphises. Don't be worried about that. So he will be the first Kushan ruler. You can say he will be the founder of the Kushan Empire in India, and the empire will reach its zenith under Kanishka I, who expanded Kushan territory from Central Asia to Patliputra. Let's once see the map here. If the map you see, you will see the control of the Kushan Empire at these parts, and there are these other parts also. Those were under their control, like the Patliputra and Vidisha. But one thing that you should note down is this part of China. Never before you might have seen till now that any invader who has invaded India has also annexed the part of China. But here you will see the parts like Kasgar, Khotan and others will be annexed by Kanishka when he will have this fight with the Chinese rulers. So that is also one point that you should keep in your mind. The Kushan Empire at its peak controlled territories including Afghanistan, Pakistan, northern India and part of Central Asia. Kanishka, when we talk about him, Kanishka, before Kanishka also please let's know about the Cadphises 1 and the Cadphises 2. Okay. So the Cadphises 1 was actually the Kajula Cadphises, who was also known as the founder. Okay. And the Cadphises 2 rather was the Vima Cadphises. And also remember, both of these Cadphises followed Saivism. They were Saivite. They worshipped Shiva. This is something to note down about them that you should know. And along with that, they will start the ruling somewhere around from the Gandhara and the Kabul area, and they will come towards the northwestern part of India, also occupying the parts of Punjab and Sindh, and later on it will be expanded under the Kanishka. We for very sure don't know what was the relation of Kanishka with this Cadphises 1 or Cadphises 2 or the Kajula Cadphises and the Vima Cadphises. Now let's get on to Kanishka. Kanishka the Great was the most renowned ruler of the Kushan dynasty, under whose reign the empire reached its territorial and cultural peak. Kanishka's era is significant for the spread of Buddhism to China, Central Asia and beyond, earning him the title Second Asoka. Kanishka expanded the Kushan Empire from Central Asia and Gandhara across northern India, reaching as far as east as Patliputra and south to Ujjain and Malwa. His conquest included regions like Afghanistan, Gandhara, Sindh, Punjab, Magadh, Kashmir and parts of Central Asia such as Kasgar, Yarkand and Khotan. And guys, these were the areas which will be conquered by Kanishka by defeating the Chinese rulers. Okay, so please remember that the Kanishka convened the 4th Buddhist Council in Kashmir, which played a pivotal role in the development and spread of Mahayana Buddhism to Central Asia and China. So he will also be patronizing the 4th Buddhist Council, and we will see the details of it also. Now the administration system, if we talk about under the Kushan Empire, first and foremost, one difference that we find that they had this divine kingship. What is divine kingship? Kushan rulers adopted the title Devaputra or son of God. And why they are doing this? Possibly influenced by Chinese rulers who referred to themselves as sons of heaven. So in that very nature, they are also giving themselves the title of the Devaputra or the son of God. Satrap system is continuing from when the Greeks have invaded India. So the empire was divided into satrapies, each governed by a satrap, regional governor, with Mahakshatrapa, that is the great satrap, overseeing larger territories. I'll just revise it for you once again, but whatever the classes till now we have done of the foreign invaders of India, we have discussed there. So basically when you see this word satrap, satrap means the governor. Okay. When you see the word satrapy, it will means what? It will means the province or the territory or the state. Okay. So this is the difference. You might also see this word Chhatra. It also means the very same. Okay. And Chhatrapis, obviously that will also mean the very same as the satrapy or the provinces. Okay. Now the dual capital system. The empire was administered from 2 capitals, that is Purusapura and Mathura. Purusapura being today's modern day Peshawar, that is in Pakistan. So this is also one feature of the Kushanas that you should remember. They are having 2 capitals. One is Purusapura and the other one is Mathura. And the military organization, if you talk about, the administration included high ranking officials like Mahadandanaika and Dandanayaka. Basically you can say One is the commander-in-chief and one is the general commander-in-chief. Dand basically means punishment, so they must be the punishment officers. The Kushan economy was remarkably prosperous, primarily based on their strategic control of trade routes, particularly the Silk Road. Economic characteristics will include the Kushan controlled crucial segments of the Silk Route, facilitating trade between China, India, Persia and Roman Empire. If you see here, and the major trade goods include silk, spices, precious stones, textiles and metals. I'll just zoom this for you just to see. If you can see here, this is the area where they are having their capital. This is Purushapura or the Peshawar, and from this area you are seeing this Kasgar, Yarkand and Khotan. If you can see at the northern side, northeastern side at the very top, you can see Kasgar, Yarkand and Khotan. These were the three territories that were annexed by the Kanishka, and you will see at the bottom it is this silk trade route is also showing you the pathway of the trade routes in India and also to the other part of the world. Okay, so that was very famous, and the control was of whose? The Kushanas had the control. Now when we talk about the coinage, the Kushans were the first Indian ruler to issue large quantities of gold coins in imitation of a Roman array, indicating their economic prosperity. See, whenever you will see gold coins being issued, consider one point that the economy must have been in very good condition. They also issued silver and copper coins for various transactions. And when we talk about the agriculture, the empire maintained a strong agricultural base with fertile lands along the Indus and Ganges river, supporting wheat, barley, rice and various fruits and also vegetables. When we talk about the urban centers, then so we had the urban centers like the Tachsila, Mathura and Ujjain, which will serve as major commercial hubs. You can see in the map, here you can see Mathura, here you can see Tachsila, and here you are also seeing Ujjain. Okay. Now that map pointing is very important, guys, so don't miss that. Now let's see the Kushan period witnessed extraordinary cultural, synthetic and artistic achievements. Gandhara school of art, which was very famous, was patronized by the Indo-Greeks, and very famously the Kushan period was one of its artistic legacy that we can say, which emerged in present day northwest Pakistan and eastern Afghanistan. The school was characterized by different features that it had. Very quickly I'll just go through them. By the way, we have also done this in very comprehensive way in our art and culture classes, where we have discussed the Gandhara school of art, Mathura school of art and Amravati school of art. You can go and find that video in our playlist of Indian art and culture at our channel Shikara Academy. So a few distinctive feature, if I can say you, first feature, if you see the hairstyle that you are seeing, this is quite uncommon, not the Indian hairstyle that was prevalent. Number 2 point, if you want to take, you can see the drapery system or the cloth, this drapery that is done on the cloth. This was a significant thing which was not already prevalent. Number 3 point, you will see these ears to be very long and elongated. Number 4 point, you see at the back you are seeing this halo. The halo is being built at the back. This was also one of the distinctive features. Number 5, you will see these eyes are half opened and half closed, showing Buddha to be in a meditative posture. Number 6, you will also see mustaches being used here. Number 7, the point is they are showing these idols to be like Greek god structure, who was having perfect body, perfect human physique is what is shown the Buddha with. So these were few of the basic points, and you can see that realism is shown here, and the sharp nose, sharp eyes features, these were very common there. Next we have the Mathura school. Alongside the Gandhara, the Mathura school will also be developed more indigenous Indian style, focusing on Indian deities. Hindu deities like Vishnu, Shiva and Devi will also feature, and they will also have the idols for Buddhism and as well as for Hinduism, and along with the Buddhism and Hinduism they will also have it for the Jainism. So basically we can say Mathura was more secular when it comes in comparison to the Gandhara school of art. Two distinct features, if you can see. Number 1, they use red sandstone. Basically, if you can see, all these idols, you can understand yourself. And number two, the halo that is being built, this halo was plain when we talked about the Gandhara school of art, but now it will be decorated. You can see these decorative patterns on the halo. So these were some of the distinctive features along with what the other features were already there. Now let's talk about the fourth Buddhist council in Kashmir, which was patronized by Kushana. Kushana's great ruler Kanishka. Okay, so this fourth Buddhist council, which will have happen there, where the Buddhism will formally get divided into two halves. One will be Hinayana and the other will be the Mahayana. Now some basic differences very quickly we just will go through. The Hinayana, or the lesser vehicle, they believed in symbol worship. They did not believe in idol worship. Okay, but Mahayana will believe in idol worship, and Mahayana will also talk about the greater compassion. What's this greater compassion? They will believe that Buddha was God, and there are these bodhisattvas, and bodhisattvas have this stop there. They are there to make others achieve the liberation. Okay, but Hinayana, what they believed, they believed that everyone individually can attain the enlightenment or nirvana. They cannot help others to do so. But Mahayana believed differently, and that is why there will be this distinction between Hinayana and Mahayana at the fourth Buddhist council, which was in Kashmir and was patronized by Kanishka. So there is something to note down, and also note down that while Kanishka invaded parts of Bodh Gaya and Magad in Bihar today, he will meet a Buddhist monk known as Ashwaghosa, and Ashwaghosa will influence him so much that he will accept Buddhism, and he will also spread Buddhism towards other part of the world, and that is why he was known as the second Ashoka. There were many other points also, guys, but in YouTube video it's really not possible to go through that very comprehensive. And you can also join our live classes that we conduct for this very comprehensive classes. Nonetheless, now let's talk about the Huna invasion. The Hunas were nomadic Central Asian tribes who lived in the neighbor of China, and if you remember at the very start I said you that these tribes, the different tribes that were present there, like the UG tribe, and then we have the Parthians, we have the Scythians, we have the Bactrians, and now we are also seeing these Hunas tribes. Why they are moving? See, consider and understand one thing. Supposingly this is the part of the land. Okay, the Central Asia part was having very harsh climate. Okay, and now this population of both the humans and also the population of the animals is increasing day by day, and as it is increasing, their grasslands are shrinking day by day, because the more the population, the more the area they will need, the more the food is required. So that is why these tribes will always have fierce battles in between them, and they will push each other. Okay, that is why we are seeing all these tribes coming towards the northwestern part of India, and northwestern part of India was also very fertile. That's also one reason for it. The climate condition here was very good, and revenue wise or tax collection wise it was very wealthy. So these were the reasons. Now the Hunas were divided into different branches: northern Huna, the black Huna, the southern Hunas were the red Hunas, the eastern Hunas were the celestial Hunas, and the western Hunas or the white Hunas. This branch actually invaded India. Okay, so if you can see here, this is the Huna Empire that was in India. Not a very large part of India is taken over by them, but at that time who was ruling in India? It was the Gupta Empire here, and the Vakatakas at the bottom you can see. But they did not only had this empire in India, rather they also had a very big chunk of the other parts under them. So Huna's invasion was quite very drastic, or you can say it was very quite a large empire at that time. And this is the gateway that you can see through the Khyber Pass along the Hindu Kush mountains that the Hunas will enter, and we can also see the probable route of the Fayan. Okay, that the very famous Chinese traveler Okay, how he returned to China and how he reached to India is also shown there. So the major invasions of Hunas, when we talk about, we have to talk about the first major Huna invasion that occurred during the reign of Skandagupta. While the Hunas will attack, there will be the Kumar Gupta later on, the reign of Kumar Gupta, and while the reign of Skandagupta, we will see this Hunas will be there. After defeating the Kushanas, the Hunas entered India and through the Kabul valley and penetrated into Punjab and Gangetic plains. However, Skandagupta successfully repelled this invasion, dealing a crushing defeat to the Hunas forces under Toramana. So Toramana is said to be the first ruler of Hunas that have invaded India. After Skandagupta's death, the Hunas launched a second invasion under Toramana. This time they were more successful, conquering Punjab, Rajasthan and parts of Madhya Pradesh. It is also believed that the Gupta rulers back then, they were paying taxes to Toramana or to the Hunas. Toramana established a Huna power in northern India and issued coins with both Indian and Central Asian influences. Also remember this Toramana, he was a Shiva worshipper, so you can also say that though they are considered to be very barbaric and cruel, but they under the influence of Indian culture, Indian religion, accepted Indian religion. The third invasion that happened somewhere around 515 Common Era under Mihirakula. Mihirakula being the son of Toramana. A son of Toramana, the Hunas expanded their control into the Ganga Valley and Malwa. He was eventually defeated by an alliance. The alliance will happen of the Yashodharman of Malwa and Narsimhagupta Baladitya of the Gupta Empire. So that is something which you should note down. And this Mihirakula is also mentioned in Raj Tarangini, that is written by Kalhana. Raj Tarangini, it's a book of record where it talks about the history, the culture of Kashmir, and there it is also mentioned that Mihirakula was the king or the ruler. He annexed the territory of Kashmir as well as of Gandhara, and he also built a Shiva temple there. And for Toramana, it is believed that he in Madhya Pradesh built a Varaha idol. Okay, because it is believed that at the very start of Toramana's career, though we have seen Mihirakula is a Shiva worshipper, very start of Toramana career, it is believed that he was a Vaishnavite, because that's why he built a Varaha idol. And later on, according to some Jain scripts, it is known as that he accepted Jainism, which is really very contrasting, as it is believed the Hunas were very violent people and Jainas are the strictly non-violent people. But Mihirakula reigned from 502 to 530 Common Era, was the most powerful and notorious ruler of the Alcon Huns in northwestern India, succeeding his father Toramana. His capital was at Sagala, that is modern day Sialkot in Pakistan. Mihirakula's empire stretched from Central Asia to Central India at its height. Buddhist accounts such as those by the Chinese pilgrim Zhuangzheng describe him as the persecutor of Buddhism, responsible for the destruction of monasteries and the killing of monks. That is something which you should keep in mind. He was a devout Saivite, as reflected in his coinage and religious patronage. Mihirakula was described as the most powerful and cruel Huna ruler, earning the epithet Indian Attila. So this is about the Mihirakula. And the Battle of Sondani. So what was this Battle of Sondani? It was a pivotal military conflict that marked the end of Huna, or the alcohol Hun. The battle was fought between the Huna king Mihirakula as a confederation of Indian rulers led by Yashodharman of Malwa and Gupta Emperor Narsimhagupta Baladitya. And the Sonadini inscription that are inscribed by Yashodharman records his victory and claims he had bent the head of the Mihirakula, symbolizing the subjugation of the Huna king. And before this Yashodharman, there was his father Prakash Dharma. And Prakash Dharman also defeated Mihirakula, but when this alliance will take place, this will end in a way the empire of Hunas in at least the central part of India. In northern part of India, it is said that there was this Pravar Sen. Pravar Sen is believed to be the younger brother of Mihirakula, who was in hiding because he was afraid his brother Mihirakula might kill him. So after the death of Mihirakula, we'll see Pravar Sen will rule the parts of Kashmir, and it is also said that modern day Srinagar, or which was at that time known as the Pravar Senpur, okay, it was known as the Pravar Senpur, which is modern day Srinagar, was built by this Pravar Sen, okay, and he was quite very in contrast in nature to Mihirakula. He was very kind, he supported the society and the people. Let's talk about the administration of the Hunas, the tribal confederation. The Hunas maintained a tribal confederation rather than a centralized state. This is also a reason why you are seeing that they are not founding an empire, and they are barbaric in nature like the tribal peoples. Military leadership was primarily based on military powers and personal loyalty. Adaptation to the Indian systems was also seen, like the rulers of Toramana and Mihirakula, they adapted administrative practices, also the religions of India. Their economy became increasingly dependent on tribute collection. As I have already said you, even the Guptas were paying tribute to them. The Hunas invasion severely disrupted existing trade network, particularly the Indo-Roman trade routes had been crucial for the Gupta economy, and this will also be the reason of the Gupta's decline, this Hunas invasion. And because they have captured that trade routes, so now the trade was not going to happen so very easily, weakening of the trade connection between Indians and the Roman Empire. Decline of major commercial cities like the Patliputra and Ujjain, and economic deterioration reflected the reduced gold content of later Gupta coins. Now when we talk about the culture and impact, religious transformation was there. Initially described as barbaric destroyer of Buddhist monasteries, the Hunas gradually adopted Indian religious practices. Toramana became a Vaishnava and issued Garuda coins. Mihirakula was a devout Saivite. Later Huna rulers like the Meghavahana were praised for their dharmic rule. So these were some of the contrasting features that we can talk about. And at the back, if you are seeing this person coming again and again, he is the Mihirakula that we have talked about. Now, the cultural assimilation, initially described as barbaric, they will obviously accept the Indian religious and their administrative things. They adopted Sanskrit as their official language using Brahmi script. Many Hunas clans became part of the Rajput warrior class, and the some became ancestors of the modern Rajput families. So in summary, if we talk about both the invasion, they will demonstrate the permeability of India's northwestern frontier and the subcontinent's remarkable capacity of cultural observation. And this cultural absorption and transformation we have seen right away from the Persian Empire to the Macedonian Empire and the other empires that have come here. The Kushans show how foreign rulers could become patrons of Indian culture, while the Hunas illustrated how even initially destructive invasions could eventually contribute to India's cultural and social evolution. That is the beauty of India where we live in. Now, let's see a few of the question. Arrange the following invasions of ancient India in correct chronological order. First, who were here that came? So we can start with the Greek. After the Greek, we had the Sakas. After the Sakas, we had the Kushanas, and then we had the Hunas. So if we name it 1, 2, 3, 4. So first should be 2, then should be 1, then should be 3, then should be 4. So A is the correct answer here. Okay, let's see the next. Which of the following statement about Kanishka, the Kushan ruler, is or are correct? He convened the 4th Buddhist Council in Kashmir. Yes, we had Vashumitra there as the president and Ashwaghosa as the vice president there. His coins were inscribed only in Prakrit. No. He was a patron of Gandhara art. Yes, his coins were inscribed in the multi languages. So 1 and 3 should be the correct answer here. The next, which of the following was the main cause of the decline of the Gupta Empire? Huna invasions and the weak successors. That was the main point. Which Huna ruler established his capital at Sakala, that is modern day Sialkot? Obviously it was Mihirakula that we have seen. And guys, if you are not able to see the explanation, please pause the video and see it. Which of the following administrative features were introduced by the Kushans? Satrap system were already there, so they were also following it. Dual capital administration, was obviously we have seen this Purushapura, that is in Peshawar, and also in Mathura. Use of Sanskrit as the sole official language. It was not for the Kushans, rather for the Sakas, or you can also say it was also for the Hunas, but not for the Kushanas. So 1 and 2 should be the correct answer here. So guys, with that we have come to the end, but it can be the beginning for you. Yes, if you are preparing for UPSC, TSPSC or APPSC, one-on-one live mentorship by Deepika ma'am is something which will help you to ace your journey, to lessen your journey from an aspirant to administrative officer, because Deepika ma'am is having 20 plus years of experience. We even consider her as our mentor, and it can really help you. You can call on the numbers given below to inquire for more. There is no harming in inquiring, and guys, keep working hard, and all the very best for your success. Subscribe so that we meet again, and like and comment. Thank you.